Hi Leo, this is going to be your art channeled message. I channel messages through art, creativity. I really hope my messages inspire you to see the art within yourself, within your journey, and within everything around you, because we all start from zero, which is just a blank canvas. It's a fool's journey. Constantly learning and improving each and every day, kind of like how art comes together as well. If you'd like a personal reading, all the information is down below. And lastly, there's no rules here. All of my messages are timeless. You can always get something here, no matter who you are. Everyone is welcome. I say this every time, but it's so true. And you're a large portion of it as well, because there's a reason I describe it, at least for these, so it's like you can interpret it, so that you can understand it in your own language, your own way. My art is an optical illusion, but so are my messages. Some things are not as they appear. This is more than art. What I started drawing for you was a cylinder / test tube. I literally saw the envisionment of one of those swirly test tubes where it circulates before it goes to the bottom or before it interacts with other chemicals. I'm getting something will be circulating around you, but without interacting. Similar to chemicals. This literally reminds me of the good old saying, they'll watch, but they don't openly support, or they follow you, but they don't interact. Kind of reminds me of that social media thing. You know, you've heard it many, many times. Never really thought about it in that way, but it makes a lot of sense, at least for this. I'm getting the scenario of a scientist that has everything ready, but does 0 experiments. It's like the chemicals aren't reacting or interacting with each other. It's like your job is to see how they react, and that's not being done. It's like, why are these people around you if they're not going to support? I'm also getting you've been wanting to create your own experiment. I heard social experiment, 8 of Wands. There's something specific you've been wanting to do to perhaps test the loyalty of those around you. Maybe not even just the loyalty, it's just you're curious of how, if they'll react in the manner you think they will or not. It could be anything. It's like, I wonder if they'll do what I think they'll do, or this literally reminds me too of how every test and experiment starts with a hypothesis or a question. It's like it starts there. That's what it's based off of. It's like, will I be pleasantly surprised, or will my suspicions be confirmed? I'm seeing once again, this could be you on a wider scale, not just personally, like several people being involved in a social experiment or observing human behavior. This sounds so weird, but I'm getting the art theme here is you're the scientist and everyone else is your lab rat. I'm low-key also seeing lab rat symbolizes easily fooled or just predictable. Kind of like how you predict what's going to happen, and then you write down your results based on what actually happens. It's like when people refer to an animal saying it's in their nature. They know that because people have observed animals. People have observed, I can't even say that word. Maybe it's just very important. People have observed the behaviors, the animalistic nature, and many things, including humans, because technically we're animals too. It's like, even if they do a bad thing, it's predictable. What else would you expect from them, or what else would you expect from it? This reminds me too, I don't know why I'm thinking of this, how they say it's in men's nature to want to reproduce or be with several people, or it's in women's nature to nurture and be emotional. That's not really an excuse for certain behaviors, but it's what's commonly said based off of, I guess, research, theories, experiments. The last thing that came to me, which I found really interesting, is I was seeing the 7 of Pentacles. And then I got independent variable and dependent variable. I haven't thought about science-based stuff in years, so I feel like this came to me. I'm remembering all of this because of this message. It's relevant somehow. So the independent variable, dependent variable, and then you have what's called the control group. The way I'm seeing the Seven of Pentacles is everything that he's looking at that has his attention, that's the start of the experiment. That's what's being tested. That's what he wants to know. And then there, you know that like one little pentacle on that card, in the Seven of Pentacles, that's left out, that he's not paying attention to. It's like he's saving it for later. That's the control group. That's the part that isn't being tested. It's normally done that way so that it can be compared with what is being tested. It's a part of it, but not really. So yeah. I was also getting this Seven of Swords vibe. A lot of emphasis on 7. I'm seeing it's like when you know the answer to something and then you ask someone anyway to see if they'll lie further or if they're telling the truth. So I feel like you know something already. You're just curious to see how long someone keeps up the facade or how long something continues. It's kind of like how scientists, some of them already know what's going to happen. Like based off of like their brain, it's like, I have a feeling it's going to turn out like this, and sometimes they're actually correct. It can be a very strong, kind of like a strong foundation. It can be a very strong hypothesis. Like I know what's going to happen already. I predict it. It's very similar. Kind of seeing the Eight of Wands too is just a social experiment. Something about social interaction. Ooh, I'm even getting the envisionment of how like sometimes people put 2 animals in the same room or 2 species in one area and see how they interact with each other. Okay. I'm gonna get an oracle card first. We have Prince. It's like the flowers are behind his back. He doesn't want to know that he doesn't want to reveal to the other person that he's giving them these yet. It's like withholding of information. It's the control group. It's a part that's not being experimented. It's not necessarily relevant yet. Then we have romantic charm and potential for power. Then we have using power for self. Seeing this as the truth. It's like when you give someone flowers, it's usually like things are going well. It's symbolic of that. Usually that's a gesture of love. Everything's just going well. So it's like you're making things seem, or you're faking it like everything's okay, but deep down you know something. But you're not revealing that yet. Like once again, it's like when you've already caught onto a lie, or when you've already caught onto something, or so you think. It's kind of like speculating, maybe. And you ask anyway. So like, oh, did you do this? But you already know what went down. That's how I'm seeing the Prince card right now. Then we have the Chariot. I'm seeing like this can go in 2 different directions. I'm seeing this as like little white lies. You know that saying? It's like tiny white lies. Or insignificant lies. Then we have the Five of Wands. I literally said it's like how chemicals interact with each other. It's like putting 2 animals or 2 species, or like putting a food next to an animal and seeing what they're most likely to do. It's like this. I'm saying this as like literally lab rats. People that fall for the bait, people that like start interacting. Or interacting with what you created. Or what you want to see happen. You need something too of like withholding affection. When you take something away. Oh my god, this reminds me of one time I saw this video. I don't know why I'm thinking of this right now, but they were comparing attachment styles to actual research they've done with rats, I believe. So where they take it away and they give it to them in smaller doses. It makes them like dependent on them. It makes them feel like it's a drug. Kind of like how when you withhold affection, you want it more. Or when you give it like in little increments, little breadcrumbs, it creates this addiction. Like, I want it. That's a bond. It's like an attachment. That's what this reminds me of. There's a name for it. It's where it keeps you in a cycle because you're getting little by little by little. It keeps you holding on like cheese on a string. Or cheese in a mousetrap. Seven of Swords, I literally brought that up. Something is being done to see if someone will still lie. You're allowing someone to think they're getting away with something, but I don't even think it's that much big of a deal. It's like he's trying to get away with those swords. He doesn't want to be seen. It's like the withholding of something on purpose. The smirk indicates to me, it's more of like the thrill of getting away with something rather than wanting to actually hide it for other reasons. Whoa, we have Knight of Pentacles. Then we have the Seven of Wands. A lot of sevens on the bottom of the deck for some reason. I'm saying this experiment will leave someone feeling bombarded or attacked. It's like all of this information is being thrown at them, or all of this evidence is being thrown at them all at once, and it's like, oh my god. Like, I can't... Where is this coming from? I'm seeing the Knight of Pentacles over here. Remember I put emphasis on like that one pentacle that's not being tested? This is the control group. This is what you're going to be comparing with your results. And I feel like what you're coming to, the conclusion you're coming to is that you were correct the whole time. Your suspicions were confirmed. And we have another 7 here, which I didn't really catch on to right away, with 7 of Cups. It's like breaking through illusions. Seeing the 5 of Pentacles here is like leaving someone in the mess they created. Like this person over here is like very wounded. Once again, it's like they feel bombarded. Kind of looks like an angry stampede to me. It just all blows up. You preferred to stay quiet and silent rather than doing it too early on. Instead of speculating, I'm seeing the 7 of Cups as speculating. Instead of speculating another 7, you decided to take matters into your own hands and just find out. Which I really like. It's just quick and simple. It's not really clear to me what was lied about or what behavior you were trying to discover. But it just feels like compulsive lying. Even about like I said, like about the smallest things. Purposely withholding things. So for some reason I'm getting affection, like the flowers here. Withholding to get a reaction. It almost feels like turning tables. Like once you were the lab rat in someone's shame, but now it's like they're the lab rat. Or like they're the one in the test tube. This is a really weird way to put it, but I know like this is going somewhere. There's also this element of you like waiting to see. Or just watching things unfold. It's like someone looking in the distance or seeing like something going on in the distance and they're like, that's none of my business, but I'm just gonna like watch it unfold because I'm curious. Okay, Leo, that's the end of this art channeled message. Please like, subscribe, support the channel in any way you can, and once again, the overall art and the underlying stuff. It's like, how do you interpret this? What do you think the moral of the story is? I know I already know. I already see it. This is very interesting. Okay, guys. Bye.